There are about 70 million stray animals living in the U.S., and according to OneGreenPlanet.org, only about 6 million of these pets ever make it to a shelter. In America, household pets are seen as a staple in many families. Americans have a lot of love for animals and hate to see pets homeless out on the street. We can each do our part to help this issue by adopting a pet over buying a pet from a pet store or a puppy mill when searching for a family pet. Of the 6 million pets that ever make it to a shelter, BestFriends.org says that only about 3 to 4 million pets are adopted each year. 50% of the pets that make it to a shelter are euthanized due to the lack of people adopting. The number of euthanized animals could be reduced dramatically if more people adopted rather than buying pets. The people who aren't adopting are usually buying their pets from pet stores or puppy mills, and the amount is highest for dogs because of the belief in and the desire for what people think are superior full-bred dogs. Puppy and kitten mills are all over the country and breed about 5 million pets every year, according to the HumaneSociety.org. If a puppy or kitten is not up to their standard, for whatever reason, they can end up out on the street or being put down. The puppy and kitten mills thrive on shortchanging the welfare of animals and are only in the business to make a profit. The inbreeding of their pets can also lead to genetic disorders and can end up with their pets being put on the street, or being put down if they're not bought. Most of the pet stores, online sellers, and flea markets all get their pets from these puppy and kitten mills. While this is not the case for all, most of these mills have really horrible conditions and improper medical care for their pets. PETA.org says that the moms of these puppies and kittens are forced to breed over and over again and are never really given the chance to fully get their own family and receive the compassion that a mom needs. Once their breeding potential is tapped, the moms are usually put down, kicked out to the street, or sold at breeder auctions. Buying a pet from a pet store or these mills directly continues to support their operations and leads them to be able to remain profitable while continuing to have such poor conditions for these pets. When considering where to get your next family pet, do some research to see if adopting is right for you. When choosing to adopt, you are saving a pet's life and giving them a second chance to be in a great and loving family. Adoption helps more than just one pet. When you take an animal from the shelter, another pet can be brought in and cared for, and eventually given the chance to be adopted too. Puppy and kitten mills are a controversial topic in America, and by adopting, this can be your way to fight against them. The SPCA.org says that while a good amount of the animals in the shelter are mixed breeds, there are still plenty that are full-bred dogs and cats. And when you're buying a full-bred dog or cat from a store or a mill, it can cost from $200 to $2,000, and adopting only costs about $50 to $100. Most shelter pets are happy, healthy, and just looking to be adopted by a loving family. The majority of these pets end up in the shelter because of a human problem, like a divorce or a move, not because the pet actually did anything wrong. Many of the pets in the shelter are already house-trained and used to living in a family setting. Adopted pets will show you gratitude for giving them a loving home, and you will both end up being a blessing in each other's lives. While adopting a pet from a shelter might not be for everyone, you should do your own research to see if it is the right fit for you when considering to get a family pet. Again, there are tons of homeless pets on the street, and we can do our part of this issue by deciding to adopt from a shelter rather than to support a puppy mill or kitten mill. Adopt your next pet To save its life, create a spot in the shelter for a new pet and do your best not to support puppy and kitten mills. Animal shelters do their best to help homeless pets by giving them a temporary home, but their process only works if we continue to adopt and give out permanent homes for these pets.